It was in that moment that God spoke from heaven right to me in my mind and said, Matt, this isn't about basketball. This isn't about land. This is about the Netcasters that I have called together. Because I ordained where you live and when you would live there for one reason, so that man would seek God, perhaps reach out and find him, because he's not far from any one of us. So we have got to work together to make sure that Netcast never becomes a place where people come to consume and not contribute. We got to make sure that we don't become a place where 20% of the people are doing 80% of the work. We got to make sure that we're working together so that we don't have people jumping in the boat but not rowing, right? We have got to be all in, all together, all of us. This net belongs to you as much as it belongs to me. Like, what if we really believe that? I'm calling you to go all in. I'm calling you to give like you've never given before. I'm calling you to serve like you've never served before. I'm calling you to leverage your influence like you've never leveraged your influence before. I'm calling you to lead like you've never led before. Because this new season is about us being all together, all in. In this next phase of our journey, we believe that God is calling us to $3.2 million worth of ministry to accomplish over the course of the next 2 years. And the only way to accomplish that, though, is if all of us jump in together. We have to be all together, all in, 100% engaged. Our primary goal in this is not the $3.2 million. The primary goal is that you and me and everyone who calls themselves a Netcaster jumps all in. So we've broken this out into 3 categories: the mission, the building, the kingdom. We believe that God has laid before us about $1.7 million worth of ministry to do when it comes to the mission that God has laid before us. This is kids ministry, this is youth ministry, this is outreach, this is assimilating people into the life of our church. We're talking leadership development and raising up disciples. We're talking about groups, we're talking about our staff, that it takes about $1.7 million for Netcast to accomplish and do all the things that you and I love that Netcast is able to accomplish and do. And when it comes to a building, we believe that God is bringing us into a new land. In order to get into that new space, it's going to be about $1.2 million. And then when it comes to the kingdom of God, we've always been passionate about the kingdom of God. And it can't ever just become about us as a church, right? It has to be about continuing to partner with different organizations, different ministries, planting more churches. We're talking about $1.7 million for the mission that God has laid before us. We're talking about $1.2 million in order to kind of get into the new space that God has for us. We're talking about $300,000 for the kingdom of God as we continue to live generously like we always have. This is about $3.2 million that God has laid before us in ministry to accomplish. He's saying, now go Netcast, go do it.